what it's all about, HR. It's a great thing. Unfortunately, it costs a lot of money and it needs a lot of attention from the business. So we often get the question, what do you actually deliver? What do you actually create in earnings? And that is the question that we actually want to talk. So we want to answer the question, show me the money. And the goal is to quantify the things that we actually realize. And what I want to challenge you all, because I hear a lot of presentations like gamification, how do we actually measure what we contribute? Maybe also in the communication space, we do a lot of good things, but what did you actually achieve? I think I would want to stimulate you to think about how can I quantify what do I deliver to an organization, because I think it will really help you to basically sell your services, but also function in a change management and a business partnering, because now the conversation suddenly became a lot easier. So I'm going to give you a quick example of how we actually did that. So here you see, why are we doing it? Well, we have a company goal. That goal is goal 0. So our business is constantly trying to push back the number of incidents that we have in our businesses. So you can see we have a long journey in that. We started not so good in 2000 and now we're managing to narrow it down, and it went down again last year. So this is something that the business is really passionate about, is really putting a lot of energy and money in to reach this goal. And from HR perspective, we would like to demonstrate that we are also capable of contributing to that goal. Because if you can show that the service that you deliver are contributing to one of the goals the company has and the line management is responsible for, then you have an easy way to talk to them, to connect with them, but also help them out with something that they are really struggling. So I will give you a case study, and basically a short summary of something that I did within Shell, which actually had an impact on this performance goal from the business. So how I actually did it. We have a number of facilities that are all producing. So they're producing assets. They're very similar. The processes are very similar. And I found a group of factories that all had the same demographics. So the population is the same. People have the same age. They have the same expertise. They have the same roles. And then I looked at the safety record between those factories. And I discovered, well, there is actually a difference. And I was wondering why. We first saw that they were very similar. And now we do see a difference in performance in terms of incidents. So then I started digging into the data and trying to look for the explanation. And basically I found it in terms of, well, we call it employee satisfaction survey. And it was about a motivation thing. So you see here Obama, he's giving the box to one of his employees. And of course, that's an amazing thing if your president does that. And we basically discovered that if our leaders manage to trigger the same type of reaction within the employees, then we're achieving something. This is an animation which is not working, so it should kick off with a leaders developing leaders picture, because that is basically what we achieved. We connected with the leadership, we showed the results, and we also found some indication of what the line management could do better to actually improve the safety record. So we helped to create a discussion, and we also discovered that some factories were having a great track record in one area, while other factories were doing amazing in another area. So we connected those factories based on data and created a sharing session where you share knowledge. So in a way, what we're doing here. We also got a reality check. Is that the way of using the data to identify this type of things and act on them was something completely new to the organization. So we are a new team with unique expertise, and when we have to keep in mind that we have a long way to go, since we also need to connect with the rest of the organization and develop a mind of thinking to go from, okay, what do I see in the numbers and what do I want to achieve? Now, this is basically what we are trying to achieve. We're starting out in more of a push, so I'm looking in the data, I'm finding something interesting, I connect with the line manager, and then they are convinced by my approach and my numbers, and they're actually willing to move into action. But of course, that's in the long term. We want to go to a situation where they have this mindset of being data-driven, looking at the numbers, and actually think, hey, here I see something which is weird, something that I cannot explain, and it could be HR related. So they flag the question and basically come to us and ask, okay, I need your advice. I want to explain what the impact is of a certain HR practice on our bottom line performance. Can you please help us with that? So that's basically to go from us pushing the content into them going to us and saying, well, this would be great if you could help us figure out what this HR practice is actually meaning for my bottom line. Well, that was the final slide, I guess.
Dankjewel Remco.